Hello everyone, it's Rafi, and I am playing a 15-minute game today, 10 plus 5. It started with d4, d5, c4, e6, takes, Queen's Gambit declined. And, yeah, I play knight c3 here. Then bishop to g5. And then I'm going to play e3, bishop d3. So e3 next, bishop d3, knight e2, and then I'm going to castle. This is my typical setup for this kind of opening. With h6, I guess I can come back to h4. The idea of putting the knight on e2 instead of the f3 square is because eventually white will want to play the moves f3 and e4 in this opening. So it definitely does help with that eventual central expansion. So I don't think I'm going to take on c5 here, because if he takes on d4, I can take back with the knight, and I'm playing against that isolated pawn on d5. If he pushes to c4, then maybe I'll come back to, I don't know, some b1 or something. So for that reason, I think I'm going to play rook c1 first. And so if c4 happens, I'm going to come all the way back to b1 here with a bishop. So he wants to totally dominate and play b5. Understandable. I'm not sure if I want to let him make that move though. Maybe, but the thing is that if I play a4, he can play rook b8 and maybe try to push through with b5 anyway. But after rook b8, there's bishop g3. Do I want to allow him to build a pawn chain here so easily though? Because he'll play b4 next, kick my knight back, and there's all types of struggles with that. So I think I'm going to challenge him on this b5 idea. Castle now. So this knight's going to come to g6 probably. Or e6 maybe. Maybe now is a good time to play f3. And bring this bishop back to f2. And then try to push for this e4 move right away. So he wants to aggressively get in this b5. We can definitely say that for sure. He also put the knight on f8, by the way, to stop any kind of tricks with, say, queen c2, and then bishop takes f6. So he guards the h7 square from the queen coming in. So if bishop g3, bishop d6, I take, queen takes, and I've just helped him develop his queen, and I have not really accomplished anything from that. I think I need to push for this e4 break at this point. Maybe I go for it right away. e4, he takes, I take. b5 happens. I think it's a move that I need to go for it right at this point. And yeah, just go for it. So he trades right away, doesn't really hesitate too much on that. So I do have the two central pawns now. But I need to make sure that I can keep them. So maybe now I can play bishop to g3. If bishop d6, then there's e5 in this scenario, so he can't really do that. So rook has to go somewhere. Rook needs to go to, I don't know, b6 or something like that, b7 perhaps. So if the rook does go to b7, is there any additional tricks that I can go for here is the question. I'm not sure. But one idea that I do have is to play knight f4, so I can put the c knight on d5. But I do have one asset here is, you know, I have the mobile center as they call it, the 2-pawn center. So he's attacking me on the wing. I do have those 2 central pawns to counter that. So we'll see what happens here. Now I'm just thinking, do I need to push the central pawns, or do I push, you know, do I play knight f4? I could also play e5, knight d5, then knight e4. It's definitely an option as well. But in that case, actually, he does have, you know, knight f4, sorry, e5, knight d5. Maybe I can take, and then queen takes, and then play knight f4. That is an idea. But after this e5, though, he also has knight h5. That will be an annoying move to deal with. Let's go with this. For now. So now maybe I put the knight here. I imagine now I should take like this. I feel like this kind of helped me to some extent because I got rid of that knight on c3, which was a trouble piece really for me. And then, you know, now I have this great knight on d5. I'm about to attack take c4. I mean, I don't know. I feel pretty okay. f7 square at the moment is kind of weak. I'm attacking his dark square bishop. There's a lot of good things cooking for me, I feel like, in this position right now. I just reversed the, flipped the board, and yeah, it definitely seems that way from the black side, that it's just not so, clear. So he does what seems like a sacrifice, honestly. So if rook takes f7, king takes queen h5 check, king back to g8. If queen h5 right away, then... Okay, I need to consider just taking this pawn. Why am I not just grabbing a free pawn here? That's my question. I'm probably just taking this. Ooh, interesting in-between move. Do I give up the dark square bishop here? Or do I put a knight on f4? There's also rook c2. If b3... I don't think that's going to be that big of a problem. I think I should play rook c2, honestly. Oh no. Oh no. That's a bad move. It drops the e4 pawn. That's a horrible move. Bad move. The e4 pawn is dropped, and then the bigger problem is that it defends, it exposes my knight on d5. This was a big mistake now. Yep, absolutely, you'll take that. Interestingly, I do get this pawn, though. So that was kind of an interesting trade there. He did take my pawn on e4, central pawn, but now he cleared my diagonal from my bishop. So that's something to consider. So now I'm threatening the rook and also the a6 pawn at the same time. Quite interesting. I wonder if I can just take the... I'll just take that. What's the plan here? So I do have 2 extra pawns right now. But he's definitely has very active pieces. That's also for sure. Very active pieces. So it's kind of a very interesting scenario here where he has very active pieces. I have 2 pawns for it. If I can survive and, maintain my, survive the attack and lower his activity, I could potentially win this game just from being up material, Okay, so queen a5 now seems interesting. Kind of pins this, the rook. And I'm kind of threatening. Okay, so now knight d5 maybe? Or maybe I just play that. Oh! Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I just dropped my queen. Oh gosh. He left his queen hanging. But I mean, he would have taken my rook with check and then picked up the queen. Oh, now it's lost. It's done. That's it. Oh, that's checkmate. Alright, that's over. That's crazy. Yeah, I definitely played horrible, horrible chess. Absolutely terrible chess. I don't know how to describe how bad this was. Wow, that was just terrible. Alright, let's look at it. So, okay, so d4, this is the queen's gambit decline with e6. So I traded. Then knight c3, bishop g5, pinning the knight, playing e3 only after developing the bishop. Bishop d3, and so then knight e2, because I told you, like I said earlier in the game, like I want to play f3 and e4 in this kind of setup. So the knight typically goes on e2 instead of f3 in these positions. So c5, and I played rook c1, just so I have some place to bring the bishop back if he plays c4, which he did. But typical is castling, I think, in this position. So after rook c1, he played c4, and yeah, we're pretty much out of books. So I'm going to start looking at the computer evaluation from here on. Rook c1 is not really suggested. So yeah, it's not suggesting a4 either. Just telling to ignore, telling me to ignore that. But I played a4 anyway. Castle f3. The idea is to play e4 soon. e4 right away. Oh, there's knight takes e4. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, if knight takes e4, bishop takes e7, I believe there's knight takes c3. This, this, this. Wow, this is, yeah, that's a lot. What's going on here in this position? Oh, it's white to move. Okay. Wow. Wow, well, I missed that whole thing. So after e4, I just completely missed this whole idea. Again, knight takes e4 was possible, but both of us kept missing it. Bishop g3. And after knight f4, he played this. I thought I was doing pretty good here, My knight's on a great square, especially after he took that too. I thought I had a pretty good advantage, and I did actually have a pretty good advantage here. Just couldn't convert it, really. That's what the problem was. So that just drops a pawn, I think. Just played rook c2. Oh, rook c2 was, I thought it was a mistake. It was actually the correct way to play this. After this, knight takes b4 was also correct. And here I felt great about my position. I thought I was doing great. He's got so many, his pieces kind of felt very uncoordinated, I guess, to some extent. Then he plays this, queen d3. Then he plays that. I just took another pawn. And I was playing very, feeling very snug. So he plays that. I played queen a5 to pin this guy. Although I could have played queen in other places as well. But I thought this was fine because I'm threatening knight d5 next. He plays this. So how it should have played out is this. Oh, oops. Obviously bishop takes. And then I had bishop f2. e8. And then now, we just traded queens basically is what it was. Now I have all this extra material. And a passed pawn. Bunch of passed pawns. 3 passed pawns. Total win. Totally winning. Man, instead of that, look at the kind of crap I just did. That's crazy. I could have won on the spot. Instead, I played bishop f2. That's sick. That's sick. Absolutely horrible. Well, that's that game. Hopefully you learned from me how to not drop your queen. That's pretty much the biggest takeaway that I can tell you from this game. And I'll catch you in my next video.